NotebookLM is a personalized AI research assistant that helps you to sort your files in form of PDFs or YouTube videos or whatsoever article link that you have, and in the process create whatsoever insight you would want to create from it. You could create FAQs, you could just do whatsoever it is that you want with those sources. And in this video, we're going to go through the interface and see if we could upload our own sources and do a little bit of research with it. So keep watching. All right, so to access NotebookLM, all you need to do is go to notebooklm.google because it is actually a service offered by Google. Is it a service? Is it a system? It's a software, but it's offered by Google and it's based on Gemini 1.5, which is the latest version of Gemini. And it's actually something that has a great overview right from the front page. You could see it from the home page, what you can actually do with it. And what we're interested in this video is just the note-taking aspect. And once you do that, you just click on Try NotebookLM. I'm already signed up, so I have my account here. And I just did a little test with it. So what I did was on history of computers. Let's say you want to learn about computers, like the history, how computers actually started. I've added 7 sources and I want to show you something. Now, for you to add a source, all you need to do is just click on this plus button and you're going to have different options to add the sources. You could add sources from different sources, right? You could add sources from different file types, and this is actually very useful because what I did was to just go to different home links. I just googled how computers started and then got a lot of articles from different sources, and then the concept of Google NotebookLM allowing us to put a link directly saves us from just going to copy every text that you see here and pasting it. So once you just paste the link, it's going to pick it up. Now, one thing you should also avoid is once you Google something, the first result is usually a snippet by Google, and the link takes you just to the location where this particular text was made, which will give you a long link that would be a problem when actually adding it as a source, and that's exactly why this is showing up. And if you check the link here, it's actually a long link that we could actually have done without some of the parts. And to avoid this, once you click on something like that, just notice how this link goes from this URL bar. You're going to see where the link to the main page actually starts and ends, which is this. The part where you can see the hash symbol down to the end just signifies this is where it's pointing to on the article. So what we would want is just to get the part where it starts from this, and we select this part, and we could also just remove every other aspect from the end and copy just what matters. This is just a side note for you to avoid errors like this. So now once you've added the links, what I did was I added a couple of links from different sources, which you could see some YouTube videos. I even had a book, a 50-page book, and this is the book, and it's a brief history of computing, and it's also something, well, it's more than 50 pages. The preview is actually 50 pages, but the book itself is 264 pages. So I added the whole book, and you could see that we have 7 sources, and you have a maximum of 50 sources to add, which if each source is as detailed as it is, you don't really need You don't even really need 50, do you? Right? So now that we have this, we can go ahead and ask it whatsoever it is that we want, right? So let's just say who invented computers. Let's see the response. So it's going to do it, it's going to prompt the window just like it would when you're chatting with Gemini or ChatGPT or any of those AI chatbots. Right, so we have a response here, and now the response would have been easy as saying Charles Babbage, but it's not really Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage is just considered as the father of computers, and this gave us some really great responses, and each response has a a link pointing to where you could see the reference, right? So this would just prove that, okay, this is where I got this information from, and it's really very, very helpful. Reminds me of Perplexity, and Perplexity does something similar, and it takes you to links where you could see where it got this. And if you like what you see, you can just say save to note, and as it is, you can ask it whatsoever it is that you want based on the sources that you've added. So if I decide to just close the chat and um, check out the sources, I could just easily deselect some sources and then um, base my responses on the sources that I have unchecked. You could also remove a source or rename each source. And if these sources aren't enough, as usual, you could add a source. And that's basically what you can do with NotebookLM in the aspect of note taking. Now let's try something else. Even though we should note that NotebookLM may sometimes still give us inaccurate responses, so we need to still do some fact check on our own, because these sources are the ones we are giving it manually. So the source could be, let's say, an article I wrote by myself, post it on my website, and the facts might be wrong, but it's gonna fetch from what I gave it, so it doesn't change the fact that the facts are wrong. So now let's see, can it write an essay on why Charles Babbage is the father of computers? Let's see, can it do that? Oh yes, it actually did. Well, Charles Babbage is considered the father of computers. Charles Babbage, an English mathematician, and these texts are actually coming directly from the sources that we've given it, which is very helpful because you could do whatsoever it is that you like using this. All you need to do is just copy and put it wherever it is that you would want to put it. This is the future of note taking, honestly, because you could just have all the sources. How long would it have taken you to like read through all these to be able to come up with something like this? Now, I'm not suggesting for people, for students for academics to use this as it is, but this would give you a complete guide on what to do and what not to do, right? So it's going to give you like now in this case, this is an essay, but I'm not saying go copy this essay and paste it and submit. I am obviously not suggesting something like that, and I would never. All right, so you could add a note to whatsoever it is that you are doing. You could say, okay, this is me trying to just summarize whatsoever ideas I have. I renamed this note to History of Computers, and you can do it on your own. You could just create a new notebook, and it's also going to ask for sources. And yeah, the source could also even be an audio file. How wonderful is that? Right? So you could have sources from Google Docs, Google Slides. It's the possibilities are just really endless when it comes to taking notes. And that's basically what NotebookLM can do. You could create summaries from whatsoever it is that you have done. So now let's say summarize the entire history of computers in a fun way. in just, I don't know, 500 words. So this makes study to also be fun, because you can take all that chunk of text that you have from all these sources and then use them to learn effectively. Because honestly, for someone like me, it's always very tedious and like reading stuff like this. Like once I see a block of text like that, it makes me believe, wow, when would I get to know all these years, like 1927, 1950s, like what happened where, like this makes it easier to do whatsoever it is that you want to do, right? So from counting sticks to supercomputers, a whimsical. So this is the fun way of actually summarizing um, the entire content that you have here. That's it. So that's been it. That's basically what NotebookLM can do. Let me know in the comment section what you see yourself using NotebookLM for. It's a great AI tool that is 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 actually very useful. I must keep emphasizing that. And yeah, I would see you in the next one. Goodbye.